Good morning from New York. It's Tuesday Live. Tuesday Morning Live. Similar to Saturday Night Live, but not quite. I'm thrilled to be here with you guys. I got something very important today. Is about adopting your own philosophy, having a philosophy for life, for communication. Okay, really important. I have on the screen Michael Jordan, and you saw a minute ago I had on the screen Pete Rose. All right, I want to talk about the topic of mastery. Right, some of you I can see have dialed in. Some of you from the road. Some of you, I see Mike has a computer screen on. Great. Okay, mastery is comprehensive knowledge or skill in a subject or accomplishment. Okay, synonyms: proficiency, ability, capability. Okay, mastery is also control or superiority over someone or something. Like you could say in tennis or golf, he's got mastery over this opponent, right? He dominates him. Control, domination, command, ascendancy, these are synonyms. Supremacy, preeminence, superiority, triumph, victory, having the upper hand. That's mastery. Right? So that's why I have Michael Jordan. I want to talk about that for a minute. Pete Rose. I want to talk about something else. There's a book, fabulous book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, who's a writer in New York City. I've met him. He wrote the Blink. He wrote what was the other one? Tipping Point. Outliers, very, very popular. And the idea behind Outliers was examining these people that are so incredible at what they do. People marvel at the accomplishments of somebody like Michael Jordan or Pete Rose or virtuosos in music. And we marvel at these people. But what he did is he dug under the covers to find out why. What makes them so special and how do they get there? And what he determined was that the 10,000 hour rule applied. That it takes about 10,000 hours of practicing your craft religiously to develop at the virtuoso level. 10,000 hours. It's a lot of time. That's what they all seem to have in common. Certainly Michael Jordan, arguably one of the best that ever played the game. Before the games, he used to show up and practice 200 foul shots before the game. He had a philosophy about competing and a work ethic about practicing, about doing what he had to do to make himself the very best, to develop mastery in his sport, okay? And also in business. I mean, look what he's done in the world of business as well, you know? Pete Rose, if any of you are old enough to have remembered Pete playing Charlie Hustle, nobody played the game like Pete Rose. Nobody. His philosophy was full out 100% all the time. When he walked, he would sprint to first base on a walk. Most people kind of jogged down. He would sprint, and people, when they first saw that, they go, oh, this guy's crazy, but they loved it. His energy, his passion. He has a wonderful statement when he says, there are no practice swings in life. When you are in the batting cages practicing to be a baseball player, there's no practice. Yeah, it's practice. It's because it's not a game, but you got to swing like you mean it. Swing like you're in the game. So in that sense, there's no practice swings. This guy went on to win many batting titles, and he got more base hits than anybody ever in the game, you know. I want to talk for a second about the Beatles. 1964, the Beatles come over from England. Take America by storm. Literally by storm. And everybody marveled. They're so young. They're so handsome. And they could play like, they played with an ease and a grace and a panache. And they weren't afraid, they were out there, they were playful, they were having fun. When Malcolm Gladwell, he's a subject, the Beatles are a subject of what he wrote about in the book, big section about the Beatles. Because what people don't realize, yes, They were young and all that, but they had spent a couple of years together, number one. Number two, the year before they came to the United States, they spent an entire year playing 6, 7 days a week in Germany in beer halls and honky-tonks every day, 5, 6 hours a day, playing, working on their material. It was like going away to a camp, going to a camp for a year. And when they came back, and they came to London, and then they came here and they took the world by storm. But believe me, it was not by happenstance. It was not like somebody sprinkled pixie dust on them and all of a sudden they were a super group. You know, it didn't happen like that. They had practiced their craft for way more than 10,000 hours. Okay, in my own life as a triathlete, I remember I got my first coach, and she told me something. It was a woman who was a professional triathlete for many years. And prior to that, I'm like a lot of you guys, I was just a regular weekend warrior kind of athlete. I would go for a run, and I would go for a run. I didn't have any real plan in mind, okay? And I would swim, and I would swim, and I didn't have any real plan. And I would cycle, or whatever I was doing, but I would just go do it. And she said, no, Dan. She goes, no, that's not, Dan, every workout has a purpose. Every workout has a purpose. And understanding that and listening and learning enabled me to become one of the best in the world in my age group. But it's knowing what, having a plan and working the plan, and having an approach to the sport, having an approach to the music. In your case, you guys are in show business, every one of you. Having an approach the minute that phone rings or somebody walks in the store, that you have the approach in your bones, and you got to practice it, right? And we're going to go back. It's going to be the same thing over and over again. It's preparation. So here's what I think my gift to you guys is this: that in the language of commitment is not about selling tires. It is and it isn't. I mean, it's about communication. It's about you having an approach to communication, because you're going to come into communication situations where? Everywhere. At home, in the community, with vendors in your own life, on the job with fellow employees, on the job with the boss, on the job with management, on the job with, obviously, customers. Right? So here's the thing that you got to remember always. So I'm going to go over the models real quick, and we're going to get to the foundation moves. Okay, and we're gonna focus on that just a little bit. But here's the model number one. Model number one: 3 layers of communication. Right, as we've discussed many times. Important to see whether you're automatic, like Pete Rose's automatic mode. When Pete was on automatic at the height of his career, on automatic mode, he was a 340, 330, 350 hitter, hitting more than 200 hits a season. His automatic mode was the best. Same with Michael Jordan. What's your automatic mode? If your automatic mode is pushing people away, stop it. You have to observe that. You have to observe it. If you're talking about information and data all day long, stop it. I'm not saying, look, here's what I mean by that. Don't hyper-focus on information and data and inventory and tire sizes and all that other stuff. It's important, but the imperative thing, as we know, is the commitment layer. So I want you to see the model, the 3 layers model, and observe today as you go out into the world. If you're on automatic, is my automatic bringing enough juice to make a difference for that customer? If I talk about information and data, is it just enough to be able to draw them in and create an opening for the commitment that has to come? You have to make it into the commitment layer. I'm going to take care of you. I'm the guy. I'm going to make it happen for you today, right now, or at 2 o'clock. You have to get to that point, guys. That's the purpose of this model, so you can see and observe what you're doing. All right? Let's move on. I'm going to blast through this stuff today. Second model. Second model right here, the foundation for results model. Okay? Again, in life, at home, on the job. Okay? You have to work in this bottom box. This is the relationship box. Why? Because the only way you're going to produce results up here is by having a lot of trust, respect, freedom of expression, and shared commitment with who? Your fellow coworkers? Your family? Your neighbors? Your boss? And the customers. It's a philosophy. It's the approach. You have to work in this box, okay? It's a plumbing issue. Watch. If you have a problem at home, a problem with a family member, a neighbor, a coworker, or a customer, it's a plumbing issue. You didn't realize you're in the plumbing business. You are. Watch. There's a lack of trust, a lack of respect, a lack of freedom to express, and no shared commitment. That's what produces a narrow pipe. It's very difficult in a constricted pipe to produce the results you want. If you happen to be a command and control kind of manager or store manager or leader of a company, command and control tends to narrow the pipe. You know what I'm saying? Your conversations tend to constrict. People don't necessarily want to be around you. Constricts the pipe. We want to expand the pipe. We want to challenge people. We want to grow this thing out like this, right? The wider the pipe, the bigger everything down here, the more results you're going to produce. Clear? That's the game. Everything that you do is either drawing people in or pushing them away. So you have to be conscious of it. That's what this purpose of this model is. So you can be conscious of what you're doing and see it. When you leave here today, every move you make is going to be about drawing people in, building the relationship. Clear? That's the game. Next model. Again, going blasting through this stuff. All communication, and this is the model. This is the model of all models right here. This is the game. You get to use language and action, but in language, you have to make, all you can do is make requests of other people. Why? Designed to build trust. That's it. You can make promises to yourself and other people. Why? Designed to build relationships. You can make statements of fact. I'm going to have Mike. He's going to work on he's master certified 10 times over. He's the best guy we have for brakes. He's going to work on your vehicle. Say it. Make the move. Why? State facts to build trust. It says it right here. It says it right here. Statements of fact designed to build trust. And again, you know my favorite, declarations, right? 3 types. The typical garden variety declaration, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to quit smoking. I want to marry you. We're going to send a man to the moon. These are all declarations that invent the future. I can help you with that. I'm the guy. I'm going to take care of you. Declarations. The second type of declaration, assessments. What a beautiful car. Wow. Mike, you're doing a great job. George, you're doing it, boom, you're doing a fabulous job. Assessments. Declarations are also assessments and offers. I've got a great deal for you today, guys, on tires. Yeah, fabulous deal. We just got it in. You can't believe it. Create a little intrigue with the offers. Make offers that have people go, wow, hey, you know what? You called at the right time. I just got the offer in today. It's a special new deal. Your timing is perfect. I want to see you down here. This is going to blow your mind what we can do for you today. Get excited about it. Make powerful offers. Declarations, assertions, promises, requests. Only 6 moves, guys. You got to master these things. 6 moves. Okay, well, here's the model. This is the Pete Rose model for communication. 2 things. Conversation to build relationship. Conversation for action. That's the model. Very simple. That's the approach. That's the philosophy. Like Michael Jordan. like Pete Rose. You got to work it. You got to work it. You got to practice it. I say this over and over and over again, and I was on with Bob Bittner before, and he said, you know, he's in charge of store operations for Tire Pros. He thanked me for saying and talking about practice, because I talk about it with you guys all the time. You know, the Beatles, Pete Rose, Michael Jordan, all got where they, because they practice. They practice. I'm showing you exactly what to practice here. You guys got to get together and take it seriously, like this is your life. This is your opportunity to develop real mastery in the domain of communication. Nobody else, throughout your high school, throughout whatever education you've had in grammar school, high school, and home, ever showed you and said, look, if you master these 6 things, if you master this approach, it'll change your life. I'm telling you, it will. Because you will be able to, I'm going to demonstrate it right now, you will be able to diagnose and impact any type of conversation with this tool, with these tools. That's why I say it's imperative to have an approach, to have a philosophy about sales, about creating results in your life. Sales is building relationship, right, on one hand, and having conversations that produce the action that you want on the other hand. If you can do that, it's right here, guys. It's right here. If you can do that every day, and you at the at-bat, and look at Pete Rose had an approach to hitting. That's what enabled him to get more base hits than anybody ever in the history of the game. And if the end of one inning, he would go in and see his name up on the wall. He's up 3rd this inning. He would start getting prepared mentally and physically. Get his batting gloves on, get his helmet ready, pick out the bat based on whatever pitcher, how heavy the bat was going to be. Then he would venture out into the on-deck circle and continue the preparation process. Then he would venture into the actual batter's box, and retaining control, he would hold his hand up to the pitcher, just like this. He'll hold his hand up and say, not yet. You pitch when I tell you, when I'm ready, not before. Then he would turn to the umpire, drop his hand, and he's ready to go. In complete control. In complete control. And he hit the ball, 33% of the time, whatever his lifetime batting average was. But he had an approach. That's the point, guys. This is the approach. I challenge you to master it. Master it. Immerse yourself into the game. 100%. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate the power of what we're doing right now. Watch this. Check it out. Say you have a really, really, really nasty customer. Calls you on the phone, right? Or walks in, absolutely furious. Something really bad happened. Or it could happen at home, a neighbor, whatever, who knows, the kids. Here's the point. Let's just stick with the customer example. The customer's incensed, out of their mind, crazy. Something happened. You're wrong, you're to blame. The pipe is really narrow. There's nothing going to happen here today because the customer's furious. If you resist it, if you push back on what's happening, it's not me, I didn't do it, we didn't do it, and you start putting up a wall like that, what you resist, like this, what you resist persists. You have to think of this model and go, okay. I have to build the relationship out again. If I don't build this relationship out, I got an angry customer that's going throughout the community, that's upset, that's going to be talking about us. Not good, not healthy. They'll tell everybody. You have to build it out again, and how you do that is by listening, which is a piece of communication, right? Listening carefully, allowing the customer to communicate and speak, and then coming back to them. And all you can do, and that's the beauty of this work, to repair this relationship, okay? All you can do is ask questions designed to gain real understanding, make promises about what you can do to take care of them in the future, immediately, like right now in the immediate future, right? Make statements of fact. It's all right here, and you can declare your allegiance to them. These are the only tools that you have to rebuild that relationship. So that's the power in this thing. And this is true in any situation that you have, any communication situation you have at home, with the family, on the job, with customers, coworkers, and obviously with customers, because we want to increase sales. That's what ultimately this is all about, right? Just got a lot of side benefits. All right, so now we go back to the foundation moves, the approach. And again, I come back to, if you're going to be like Michael Jordan, if you want to develop real mastery in life, in what you're doing, I challenge you all to practice this stuff like your life depends on it. So that when you're up at bat, when that phone rings, boom, you don't even think about it. You just bang it out there. You know exactly what you're doing, and you know that your best effort is going to produce the result like 80, 90% of the time. In closing percentage terms, there is no reason why, no reason why you can't hit the ball at 80, 90% of the time. No reason. The only reason that you would be hitting at 50, 60%, okay, is because you don't have the approach down. That's the only reason. I'm saying the possibility exists. We just had one of the Tire Pros teams down in Florida. Autospot Tire Pros, Cami, this month is hitting at 87%. Across the board. They're kicking it. They're having fun. They were on the call early this morning. You know, it's possible. Don't forget, these people are calling in to you. They're calling you. They have a problem. They get an issue. So here's the game, guys. Going forward, it's not going to change for me. You know, I boiled down, one of the things that's so nice about this work is that it boils life. Your life is on this page. If you want to build, and this is the model for you, right? You want to build trust and credibility, phase one, every time. You want to have conversations that produce action. How often? Every time. This is how you're going to produce results at home, in your life, everywhere. Conversations that produce action. That's how you do it. You know how you do that? Watch. I promise to get the work done for you, Butch, by 5 o'clock. I promise that. That produces action. When? In the future, by 5. It'll be done by 5. That's how you produce action in the future. That's a conversation for action. When you promise the customer, or you promise the boss, or you promise your wife what's going to happen and when, that's how you produce action in the future. That's a power move. Most people don't know that. Okay? So here's the challenge for you guys. And we're going to have listening sessions coming up soon. So I want you to practice. I want you to take this out onto the court and bring it. Bring it. I can help you with that. Who am I speaking with? Have you done business with us before? It's all here, guys. Get this into your bones. Get it into your bones. Practice it. It will change your life. It'll change your life for sure. You know, and I'm not just saying that. I mean it sincerely. So I want to open it up. I want to open it up for some dialogue. And let's see what anybody has to say. Mike, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, we're here. Can you hear us?
Yeah. I can
hear.
Right. Give me some feedback, my friend.
Well, I mean, do you guys have any thoughts, any feedback? Excellent call. Yeah, I thought that was definitely a good call, and going kind of working through some of the different sections in there, I think is definitely helpful. It helps put it together. You know, I think to me, the big takeaway is, you know, practicing those assertions and having those, you know, locked and loaded and ready to sell yourself and sell the visit to the customer, you know, to set yourself apart.
Yeah, fabulous, Mike. You know, on this page, this is one thing you guys can work on together, is right here on page 12 in the workbook, right? You guys need to get this stuff facts about the company, facts about yourself, facts about the services, facts about the tire programs, facts about pricing and options and everything, and get it down so when you have it like bullets in your gun, you can fire it up as needed. Okay? And so I appreciate what you're saying, Mike. Yeah. Work on that.
Hey, Dan.
Yes.
Dan, I think, I think the sports analogy fits in very well. And here again, Pete Rose, all the guys you're talking about. Tiger Woods is a good example. We all know the story about Tiger and how much he practiced and what he did. And then he continued that through most of his career. And then when he got sidetracked doing other things, didn't practice, the quality of the swing went down. I mean, it's just one of those things that you got to practice, you got to get good, and you got to stay after it. And
I agree.
Proven over and over.
I agree. You know what? I have working in my company now is a young man by the name of Dominic Morelli. Dominic is going to come on as a guest speaker with me because he was a PGA golfer. He played on the PGA Tour. He also happened to be a trumpet player, a musician. So he's got two of the areas. And I said to him, he was a musician. He played with big groups all over the country in big, big venues and everything. So a trumpet player. So it's unusual, trumpet player and PGA golfer, right? It's unusual. But he's going to come on in a few weeks. So I'll let you guys know. It's going to be exciting because I want to pick his brains about that topic. How do you practice, Dominic? How did you get to be a PGA golfer? Tell us. How did you do that? So we're going to talk about it. But listen, guys, I take it back to what Butch said. It's up to you. You have to make a personal decision that you're going to develop mastery. You're going to become the best communicator and the best sales guy and the best communicator that you could possibly become. That's the game. And practice the approach, practice, and implement. So today, here's my request today. All right, looking at the model. You know what the game is, guys. Bring your energy, bring your passion, bring your commitment. I can help you with that. I want to do it right now and bring them in. Everybody that hits that phone, everybody that hits the phone is coming in, period. Period. Everybody. Everybody that calls you is coming in. That's my stand on it. You guys can do it. Don't give up. If one of you strike out, right? If you got a $1,500 potential sale on the line, or $1,000, $800, whatever it is, if one of you strikes out, give it to somebody else. Let somebody else have a go at it. Don't ever quit. That's the game. You got to keep it going. Peace, men. Ladies, I don't know who's on the call exactly. It's a good call, guys. Thanks, Butch. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, George. Is Renee there?
Thank you.
Did Renee show up? All right, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
See you.
Bye-bye.